funny. I didn't rely on remote viewing, remote viewing at first. I figured it would be kind of easy. Just, you find a place and have a workshop. But it didn't actually work out that way. It got all the way to 10 days prior to the workshop, and I still hadn't found a place to have the workshop, because every place that I wanted to have it turned out to be unavailable or too expensive, or just whatever reason we couldn't host it there. So in desperation, I said, well, this shouldn't be so difficult. So I said, we'll have to remote view it. So we did that, and I tasked the rest of the team. I didn't participate as a viewer. I just was a task manager and a project manager, and I tasked them with doing all the sessions, and they had to do a lot of sessions. But we eventually narrowed it down to about 1.5 mile square area, and then at that point we had to actually take the physical data that we had, which was about 4 core sessions and a number of binary sessions, and we had to physically go out and drive around and attempt to correlate what was drawn in the site templates with what was physically out there within that area. And what's funny is that it only took us about, I think, 35 minutes, and we found the place.
The first field operational target that I had done essentially came out of necessity. Michael Ruiz, Bob Torres, and I were going to be facilitating a beginner's remote viewing workshop. And the location that we were going to originally have it at did not meet or suit our needs. And so for a variety of other reasons, we decided that we had to scrap that spot. And so we were posed with a huge dilemma. Where do we have it? Where in the greater Los Angeles area could we find the right spot or place to have our workshop? And we were 2.5 weeks out from the actual day of the workshop. And we had about 15 people who had RSVP'd by then. So we were faced with two options: cancel it and look like fools, or do we actually put our minds and the skill to the test and see if we can actually find an optimum place to have this. So we ran numerous sessions, and Mike was the project manager for it. So Bob and I and Mike were tasked with finding the optimum location for our beginner's workshop. And it came to the point where less than 10 days out from the actual date that we had specified, we found what looked to be, in a 2-mile radius, a spot where we could find it. We all got in my car, we drove around, and we actually found the spot in the 2-mile square radius box that we had anticipated it being in due to the remote viewing data that we had acquired. It was shocking. It was shocking because when we got to the location, Bob pointed out to me that one of the most recognizable features, which is what we were looking for, at this place, I had sketched in correct context and detail. And the significant feature of this particular place was quite peculiar. They had a skateboard park in their parking lot, and they had a detached garage that no one had ever used. And this is actually at a church. And so you would think that, those are not things that are typically found at a church. A skate park and a abandoned-looking freestanding garage. I had drawn that with absolute accuracy. And I was shocked. I was amazed that we had actually, from putting it together, this project, to 10 days out from we were actually supposedly going to be teaching our workshop, the LARV group had found the optimum place to have our first workshop.